So to this point now, we've covered the three most dominant positions that my opponent can take. We know how to escape the back, we know how to escape side control, and we know how to escape the mount. We've dealt with some of the transitional positions that can transpire from my escapes from north-south, and as a consequence of me having to, let's say, turtle up. But now there are two more positions left that are transitional in nature, but they kind of backtrack us a little bit, all right? So now we're more in the area where, let's say, my opponent chose to transition from side control. Rather than going north-south, he chooses to try to mount me. There is a position between the side control and the mount that my opponent can use that's very dangerous, and it exposes me to attacks if I do the wrong things. That's the knee on belly position, okay? So for example, my partner has side control on me, okay? And it's not a particularly good side control because I managed to keep my frames in. I'm still kind of turned to my side. But there's always the option for him to pop his weight up and now drive his knee into my abdomen here. Now, he can do one of two things. He can take that knee and slide across my body in an attempt to get to the mount, or if I react very strongly to his pressure on my abdomen by doing some key things wrong, he can immediately attack from there. For example, one of the key mistakes that people will make in this position is upon Josh arriving to the knee on belly position, they take the opposite hand, place it on his knee, but they begin to push. And once you begin to push on someone's knee, it flares your elbow up, creating a loop where your partner can then bring his hand in and subsequently attack your arm, okay? So what we're going to be covering now is knee on belly defenses that do not expose us to those potential dangers and that will hopefully also prevent our opponent from attaining the next subsequent dominant position, being the mount. So knee on belly escape number one. I'm here, I find myself on the bottom, I've covered my bases with side control, my opponent pops up. Placing that knee in my abdomen, it's very uncomfortable, okay? I do in fact need to use this hand. And I will use this hand to stop his knee from progressing to mount, okay? The key difference between placing my hand here and pushing and what I'm actually doing is that I'm just creating a barrier. I don't want to push into him. I just don't want to let his knee progress. So one of the things I'm focused on is not pushing into him, which flares my elbow, but rather keeping my elbow tight to my body. I don't care about doing anything to push his knee with my hand. I just hold it in place and keep my elbow sealed. So there's nowhere for Josh to enter for attack. It's very difficult for him to get into a pocket of any kind. Now, when I have that position sealed, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an upa. I'm going to bridge my hips to the side, and now look, all I do is shrimp my butt out, and Josh's knee will fall back on the floor. And now my hand, which was placed right on his kneecap, ends up underneath Josh, giving me the opportunity to go here and attain my underhook, and I'm in an excellent defensive side control position. For our second escape out of the knee on belly position, my opponent is imparting a lot of pressure and weight into my abdomen. Maybe he is significantly larger than me, or maybe he is just really good at projecting as much of his weight into the very tip of his knee as he can. So I'm able to place my hand as a barrier, but it feels next to impossible for me to bridge my hips up, okay? Since I'm here, he has his knee on my abdomen. I have my barrier in place, but he's so heavy that I don't feel I can raise my hips. Well, he's projecting all of his weight and all of his attention right into the tip of his knee. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my secondary hand to go find his toes. And now it should actually be relatively easy to grab his foot and push his heel up towards his butt a little. Okay? Now, since I can grab his foot and push his heel up, I'm going to push that heel up and push his foot into the half guard. Now, once I'm here, I'm actually able to shrimp my hips out a little bit, cover his knee, and push it into the half. Okay? Now from here, there's no reason not to create frames, shrimp out, and attain full guard. For our third escape out of the knee on belly position, what we're going to do is my opponent is either very quick to transition to the mount, or my other two escapes have been ineffective and I could not prevent him from progressing to the mount. So what I'm going to take advantage of now is the same thing that I did in the very first series where we did our third mount escape, which was the frame. Okay? One of the key elements of the frame was being able to get on my side and bring my foot from my left side all the way over to the other side to then trap his leg. Okay? What I'm going to do now is he has knee on belly position, and I can't stop this, and he manages to progress to the mount. Now look, as Josh progresses to the mount, his knee touches the ground, and then he has to subsequently bring this leg along. So what I'm going to do, come back to the side, is as Josh is transitioning to the mount, I'm going to ignore the upper leg and catch the one he leaves behind. And now hip out to a half guard. Now from here, attain my frames, leg escape out, and replace full guard.